It's time for the SP and Bushy Show. Here's your hosts, SP and Bushy.
Welcome to the SP and Bushy Show. Coming to you from snowy Colorado. I'm SP. He's Bushy. Bushy, how you feeling?
I'm good. Are you getting snow down there? Because it's not snowing up here.
We got a little bit of a dusting. I mean, it wouldn't be enough to write home about, but it's enough.
Yeah. It's just cold from where I live as well. It's a great time to, I guess. A little bit sad because again, we're going to talk about it. Football is ending, and hey, but March Madness is right around the corner, so I'm very excited about that.
Absolutely. March Madness is my favorite sporting event of the whole year, so hopefully that comes around and delivers this year. Hopefully we actually get to enjoy it. Hopefully the teams that advance actually all get to go play in it because of COVID. So once again, I would love to see some March Madness this year. We had the end of football for the season last weekend with the Super Bowl as well. And we'll start with our Super Bowl prop bets from last week. Bushy, how did we do?
I actually beat you. I beat you 12-8. I recounted. I wasn't being I was being unbiased, okay? I was counting. I wasn't being the refs of this game. But yeah, I won 12-8. I beat I think I beat you on the with the national anthem. I beat you with the result of the opening coin toss. You got it. I got it with heads.
Mm-hmm.
You chose tails. You actually beat me with the first score in the first 5.5 minutes of the game, and I checked the score time. It was 5 minutes and 10 seconds when the field goal was kicked.
Yeah.
So you won that. But I beat you on the will the score ever be tied after 0-0? Never really happened. We both won with the jersey number of the first player to score. So thank you, Harrison Butker and the Kickers. We won that. We lost on the which team will commit the first accepted penalty, and it turns out it was the Bucks, not the Chiefs.
And then they gave like 10 straight penalties to the Chiefs after that.
Yeah. Yes. But it was only the first one. This is the shocking one to me is how many total touchdowns we scored. We were very adamant on it being over 6.5, and it didn't turn out that way. It was very, very shocking on that one. I thought that was probably the most slam dunk of slam dunk bets for that.
I would have thought so too.
Yes, you beat me on the largest lead by either team being over 14.5 points. I thought it was going to be a closer game than what it originally is, but you turned out you were right. I am very proud about this bet. I beat you with how many total points will be scored in the first half. I was under 27.5. You were over. I ended up beating you with that one by 27 points. I got the under, so that's a win for me.
Man, those Vegas odds makers know their stuff setting it at 27.5, don't they?
Yes. Will the Weeknd be wearing sunglasses when he's first shown? I was very intrigued on that. We both lost that. We thought he would go out and not wear sunglasses, and he was wearing sunglasses when he was first shown.
It's true.
This is again another the upset. How many touchdown passes will be thrown by Patrick Mahomes? We both hit the over very hard with over 2.5, and that ended up not covering. So that was a very shocking one. I know he had the big old goose egg. I beat you on this with the how many receiving yards will Tyreek Hill have? I beat you on that one over 90.5. I thought the garbage time would have maybe have helped his stats, but it turns out it didn't. We both were big on this one. I'm glad this one hit the receiving yards with Gronk over 28.5. We both thought it was going to be – you thought Gronk was going to have a good game. I thought he would have a couple of pass catches here or there that were over 20 yards or something like that. And he would just barely get the over. You thought he was going to have a big game on that. So we both won that.
Yeah, he definitely had a big game. That's for sure.
Yes, he did have a big game for that. That's for sure. We both won on the how many players, Tampa Bay players will have a rushing attempt. We won that over 3.5. So Thank you, Scotty Miller and Tom Brady, for taking knees.
Exactly.
Will Tom Brady finish with at least one rushing yard? You beat me on this one. He did not. He had negative rushing yards to end it, again with the kneel down. So you beat me on that.
I thought it was because he was the sacks would count towards his rushing total, though.
Yeah, you thought that would be. I thought maybe because of the kneel down, they would win the game, and he probably wouldn't have to kneel down. I beat you on this one with how many interceptions will be thrown over 1.5. So I beat you on that one. You went the under, I went the over. I thought both. It's crazy, but both of the interceptions were because of Mahomes. So I was very shocked on that one. I thought Tommy would throw at least one. He did throw one, but it got obviously called back due to a penalty. Yes.
Of course it is.
We both lost on will there be a missed field goal? We thought there would be. There wasn't, even though both teams had at least 50-plus yard field goals. I'm very upset about that one. We both hit on which team would score last, the Chiefs and the Bucks. We thought the Bucks would have scored last, but we thought it would have been in a different manner than what the game really ended up becoming. We thought it would have been maybe a Tom Brady touchdown or something like that, but
we thought it would be a go-ahead touchdown.
Yeah, we thought it'd be a go-ahead touchdown, but it turned out they didn't need a go-ahead touchdown. We both picked the Bucks to win the game, so very happy about that.
I'm not happy about that.
But hey, we won the prop bet. That's really good for us. I beat you on the total points scored, odd or even. So I actually predicted the right Bucks score.
You did?
31-29. That was my prediction. Yours was 41-38. So I was off by 20 points with the Chiefs on that one.
So if you would have been playing squares and you'd have had 1 and 9, you'd have had it.
Yes, I know. If I had a 9 or something like that, I predicted. I thought it was going to be.
You had it right.
Yeah, I had it right. I had the Bucks score right.
You had the squares right.
I did. I had the squares right. Maybe it should just gone to Rocket Mortgage Squares. That's what I should have done.
There you go. You could have gotten in on that. Got some money.
Got some money. Got maybe a nice house or something like that.
There you go.
Yes, but overall, we did pretty good for our prop bets. So I'm pretty proud for ourselves.
Absolutely, and I mean, I think we did really good on that. I mean, I did have Tampa Bay winning. That doesn't mean I was super excited to see Tom Brady get yet another championship. And I mean, it was not a fun game. It was not a game that was enjoyable, really, at any point to watch. Maybe past the first quarter.
No, and it's probably going to come up on a list that we're going to do later on. And it was not a very fun game. I was shocked about this result. I thought it was going to be a much closer game than what the game presided.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was going to be much closer. And I mean, you got to give credit to the Buccaneers defense. Everyone's giving Tommy all the credit, but no, you got to give credit to the Buccaneers defense. They came out and played a fantastic game. They took advantage of the Chiefs having the 2 offensive linemen out. And you called it last week, Bushy, with the 2 offensive linemen out and how big of a difference that was going to make. We saw it made a huge difference.
Never underestimate the power of offensive linemen. It is the most underappreciated sport or underappreciated position in all of sports. In all of sports, really, is the offensive line. Really, like, people don't notice it when they're really good, but people do notice it when you're really bad. So it really gets underappreciated, and they showed it. And you could see it too from the first drive. The Bucs were really getting pressure on Mahomes early and often, and that was going to be troublesome going into to the rest of the game.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised they didn't try to run the ball more or have like more quarterback draws or something, just to kind of keep some of those guys out of the secondary and maybe keep up somebody to kind of be a spy on Mahomes. But they never needed to because Mahomes wasn't able to break. And it seemed like that's when they were moving the ball at the beginning of the game, was when Mahomes was breaking containment and actually rushing for a couple first downs here or there. So I think that was kind of their mistake. I think they needed to try and run the ball more. I mean, they weren't down by a ton at halftime. Those 2 touchdowns at halftime. So if they came out, maybe try to establish a run game more, I think that could have maybe helped them out.
Yeah, and you could tell that they thought they thought they were going to get back after the field goal. You thought they were going to get maybe, oh, okay, we're getting back with some momentum. But really, after the Tampa Bay scored the touchdown to start the second half on their second half drive, you could tell the Chiefs kind of quit because they thought like, oh no, this ain't going to happen. It was really dangerous. Like everybody talked about how dangerous it was with having a double-digit lead against Patrick Mahomes. It was really unsafe. This was the first time really you felt safe with the double-digit lead with the Patrick Mahomes-led offense.
Right. I mean, obviously the Chiefs having to go up against the Buccaneers defense, Tom Brady and the referees. I mean, it's an unbeatable combination when you're up by 2 touchdowns in that situation. And I mean, the referees for the most part, it was really just the egregious calls at the end of the first half that really swayed this game. And it really took all the starch out of the Chiefs defense. And I mean, it was just one drive. I mean, the call against Mike Evans that was a ball thrown 20 yards over his head, that was the one that was egregious to me because that was the one that basically put the points on the board for the Bucs. And both of the plays where Mike Evans got a pass interference called against the defense were on uncatchable balls on that possession. And that's the part that I had a problem with.
Yeah, it's definitely with the Mike Evans stuff, that was definitely egregious. But I've been watching a lot of Chiefs games over the past few years, and they really are a very aggressive team as far as with like cornerbacks. It was just, it was just really nice to see some of the calls actually go towards them rather than, oh, how is that not holding? Like they're grabbing us like all the time, and somehow the Chiefs aren't going to get it called. So they finally got a little bit of their comeuppance, really, in a way. Yeah, they did.
I just want one day for Tom Brady to get his comeuppance too. That would be nice because I mean he was instigating stuff with Matthew, and Matthew gets called pretty unsportsmanlike. I mean, let's be honest. Like Tom Brady,
that one was egregious. Both teams should have gotten it. Both of the players should have gotten a unsportsmanlike conduct on that one. And and it really, I mean, Tampa Bay gave no respect to the Chiefs, and I think people are starting to see that now. Like, I think a lot of people were gave the Chiefs a lot of respect, and really the Chiefs are a semi-dirty team when you think about it. And yeah, we were giving them all the respect, and I think a lot of teams were getting all the respect except for the Bucs, and the Bucs were just like, screw this, we're gonna throw you right back at you. And really the Chiefs kind of crumpled a little bit.
Well, once again, if they're calling it on both sides, it's a lot easier to say one side's being dirty and one isn't. But how many times are the Buccaneers the ones instigating something, and then the Chiefs player is the one who gets caught for doing the thing after that? And again, if you throw a ball 20 yards over Mike Evans' head, that shouldn't be a pass interference call. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree with you on the Mike Evans stuff.
That swayed the momentum of the whole game. That touchdown right there. Because if you go into the half and it's if it's 14-6 or 17-6, it still feels like a game. The fact that they basically handed Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, it still feels like the Patriots because it still feels like Tom Brady gets every call. And I know I sound like a broken record on this, and I sound like a conspiracy theorist on this, but it's true. You see it every time. It's amazing how Tom Brady goes from the Patriots, and they're the least penalized team in football. Now he's on the Buccaneers, and they're the least penalized team in football. Look at it, team. And you saw them literally hand the game to him 2 weeks ago against Green Bay when they called that pass interference call against Green Bay that was also suspect. And then they do it again here. It's like the rules of playoff football don't exist for anyone other than Tom Brady. It's like, okay, we'll put the whistle away unless Tom Brady's playing in the game. And I think for me, that hurts his legacy a little bit in my eyes, is the fact that he's had so much help from the officials and the filming and the sneaky stuff Belichick was doing and the deflating of the balls. Like, he's gotten away with so much shit over the years.
Yeah, they have gotten away with so much shit. It really kind of tampers with this stuff. But yeah,
and he did a great game. He had a great game. He didn't need the help.
Yeah, he did have a great game, and really, I think the Chiefs really. You said probably at the end of the first half that was a backbreaker. I think it was the first. I think it was the first touchdown to the second half. That first drive for the Buccaneers when they just really they got some scores, and they let basically Fournette run like 15 yards unscathed, really, and he scores that touchdown. It really broke the Chiefs back, and really, it shows that this Chiefs team is very beatable, folks.
It's very beatable when they have their 2 starting offensive linemen out. I mean, I think that was the biggest difference in this game. I think if those 2 guys are in this game, it's the shootout that we were expecting. They're able to hold off the pressure that the Buccaneers were getting, and then Mahomes is able to work his magic. But I don't care which team it is. If you'd have taken the top 2 tackles off the Buccaneers yesterday, Tom Brady would have been pancaked. Like, at the end of the day, you can't lose your 2 best offensive linemen and expect to be okay.
Right, but I do got to give, if there's any like positive towards Vic Fangio. I know we bashed Fangio a little bit, but really, I mean, you got to give credit. Mike Kliss tweeted this out yesterday that after the Fangio game, really, when we held them to 1 touchdown, and really they looked a very suspect offense that second time against Denver. Really, Mahomes had 11 TDs, 6 interceptions, and he had a 62% completion percentage, and he had an 89% quarterback rating. I mean, really, I think the Broncos really showed a blueprint on how to beat this Kansas City team. Really, they showed a blueprint, and the Bucs really perfected the blueprint.
Yeah, the Buccaneers also had Shaq Barrett, and the Broncos, obviously, we talked about, let Shaq Barrett walk, which is obviously a mistake.
Yes, he's definitely going to get a good payday this year.
You would definitely think so. And that's another thing I wonder about the Buccaneers. How were they able to stay under the salary cap with all these guys? Like, it felt like an all-star team. It felt like the Lakers out there almost with this team that they've put together.
They just find a way, I guess. They just find a way. And I guess it just goes to show.
No, like I said, it's not. I mean, hopefully, once again, Tom Brady got a Super Bowl. And hopefully, I pray once again he never ever gets another one.
I was really happy with the Chiefs not winning, because I felt like if the Broncos maybe get Watson or something like that, that was going to be the first game. Really, it was going to be Broncos against Chiefs if the Chiefs had won the Super Bowl, but. That probably is now going to get pushed to maybe to the Sunday night game now.
I think that's a lot of what ifs for that.
What is, yeah. If that happens, yes. If it happens.
You also have to hope the Broncos are going to get Watson and not Carson Wentz. So.
No, that's the Bears' problem. Really, is Wentz.
They're going to get Carson Wentz.
Yes.
You're going to get your hopes up for Deshaun Watson, and then they're going to bring in Carson Wentz. Guarantee it.
I don't know. Maybe with the old regime, absolutely. With Elway on the helm, I don't think with Peyton on the helm.
Carson Wentz, starting quarterback of the Denver Broncos.
In 2021, just mark it down. Just mark it down.
Mark it down.
Oh God, that would be fun. Not.
Once again, I still like our idea that we discussed last week of Joe Sakic having to approve all Colorado trades.
Yes, just have Joe Sakic be a trade consultant. You call him up like, "Hey Joe, we're gonna give Carson Wentz for a first overall our first overall pick," and click. Oh, he didn't like it.
Here's how you work that deal to include their first round picks.
And somehow they give us a player.
Right.
And somehow we get a good player too.
Right. Actually, I think that part might have been in the part that we cut out last week, and I still have my rant coming on the Rockies trade with Nolan Arenado. Obviously, a big week last week here. In terms of my real job, the CSU Pueblo Athletics, I didn't get the chance to really get into my full rant, but make no mistake about it, it's going to come.
Yes, and really, I think, come to think about it, I don't think he did it. But yeah, Joe Sakic should be the trade consultant for any Denver sports team. If you're gonna do a trade, you call if the Nuggets are gonna make a trade, or the Broncos or the Rockies are gonna make a trade, you call Joe Sakic and see if it's a good deal.
Right.
Now, and then Joe can maybe help you on how to make this deal better.
Actually, it's a state law. It should be a state law for all Colorado teams. Maybe we should get it on the ballot for November. a state law for all Colorado teams to have to consult their trades with Joe Sakic.
Hey, Joe. Okay, so we're going to give our first, third, and a fifth for Carson Wentz. What do you think? And Bradley Chubb. And we're going to give the Eagles $15 million.
Exactly. Anyway, I mean, obviously, let's also talk about, I mean, the streaker was actually probably more exciting than the actual football game. The fact that now that we actually have fans back, we have streakers back at pro sporting events.
God bless it.
They
God
forgot
bless
about
it.
that.
God bless it. We're getting back to normal. It's baby steps, but we're getting back to normal. We're getting streakers on the field. Did you hear the crazy story though? Like apparently he's the one that put a bet on that there was going to be a streaker on the field, and he won that bet.
Oh man, that's a great deal.
That is great. Like it really is. Like it's just like wow. Like we're all playing checkers. He's playing chess. That's what he is.
Exactly. He knew what he was doing. He knew it. It's like, all right.
Knew it. He knew it. And he came in with a really hot pink swimsuit as well. So it's just great. Like really, I like the baby steps that were coming towards normalcy.
Exactly. You forgot what having fans back meant to sporting events. You forgot about it. That also meant that there might be a crazy drunk guy streaking through the field.
Streaking in a hot pink one-piece bikini too. I mean, it was good.
And he made it further in that quarter than the Chiefs offense did. So good for him.
Yeah, he did a lot better than the Chiefs offense, especially in that half. So it just overall, it's great. Again, yeah, I applaud it. I always enjoy. I will never streak in my life, but I always enjoy a streaker or a runner on the field. It's always fun to look at. And I always love the hit too when the security guard hits him or something like that. If it's a good hit, oh man, that's always one of the most satisfying footages of recent time.
Yeah, but it's so rare you actually get to see that footage anymore.
Yeah, it is rare. I did enjoy a couple of years ago in 2018 when the Seattle Mariners were in town with the Rockies Mariners, and there was this video of a streaker, and it looked like he was just about to get away. He climbed over the left field, or he kind of that left field stairwell or that left foul line stairwell, and looks like he was going to get away with it, but then some kid came in and just decked him. Oh man, I remember just being I couldn't see anything what happened. I knew there was a runner on the field, but all I can hear, because it happened right around the section where I work at, and all I hear was just ooh, and it was just great. I was like, what happened? And then sure enough, I checked on Twitter like 15 minutes later, they were showing the footage of the kid just decking the runner.
I wonder if that was the game. That could have been the game we were at, because I think we came to one of those games against the Mariners, but it must not have been that one.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those games, but yeah, it was fun to. It was just a great atmosphere, and just when you hear an ooh, and you're like, whoa, what happened? Because obviously you're not going to see it on TV, but it was just nice seeing it on social media.
Oh, it was awesome, and I mean, obviously, like I remember when we were seniors, it was me, Alex Wilkinson, and Danny Gibbons. It was Danny Gibbons who streaked freshman orientation when we were seniors. And like we just all kind of helped plan it out for him.
Good old Danny.
Yeah.
Good old Danny Gibbons.
And Danny and Alex Wilkinson got caught. They never ratted me out, but I was I was there. I had a plan in it. I grabbed Danny's clothes after he took off and made sure he got them.
It was 14 years ago. I'm
not getting in trouble for any of it.
I know, yeah. I know. There's really no reason to get in trouble. It's been 14 years ago.
All I do is grab a friend's clothing. Who knows?
Yeah. I don't know. You kind of admitted it
I did.
just 2 minutes ago.
I did.
Oh, geez. Oh, yeah. Oh man, good times. Yeah, I remember hearing about it. I was not around, but I remember hearing about a streaker at freshman orientation.
Good times.
It was good times. Great times in high school.
Yep, good old prank there. That was a fun one since we were talking about streakers. I mean, obviously, yeah. I feel like if I was going to do it, I would have done it in college. I feel like I'm not going to streak now, though.
Yeah, you would have done it maybe in in high school or in college, especially with the security that we had at the Stutler Bowl at the time. You could have maybe have done it for high school.
You know what would be the epic one if, like, all of a sudden you're on the sidelines and you just, as a player for, like, your final game, if you just broke out and did it. Like, if I didn't know, like, I wasn't coming back to football after, like, freshman or something year, just, like, broke down and streaked right after that, that would have been the way to do it.
just put my pants on and
Be like, I quit.
I don't know. I was too upset. My last football game that we played, we lost in the playoffs, and I was so upset that I really didn't think about it. But looking back at it now, it's like,
Well, yeah.
that would have been interesting to do.
Right, but I mean, you were obviously like a guy that they relied on in the games, and I was on the bench the whole time anyway, so no one would have cared if.
Yeah, no one would have cared about you. Yeah. Oh yeah, man. I try to forget that game. It's like a black cloud in my memory. I don't remember a lot.
Of course, absolutely. Now, obviously, too, we got to talk Super Bowls, and we got to talk some Super Bowl commercials, though. Did you have any commercial that jumped out to you?
God, I'm trying to remember.
I'll start the ball rolling. I'll get the ball rolling. I had the Cheetos commercial with Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis and Shaggy. That was a good one because, like, obviously Shaggy's telling her to say it wasn't Mila Kunis on, like, when Ashton catches her eating his Cheetos. And Shaggy's like, at the end, he's like, wow, I can't believe that worked.
That I remember that one. That one is probably probably the best commercial of the entire Super Bowl. Yeah, the Super Bowl commercials were very meh this year. Again, not a lot of no Bud Light at all because of the pandemic.
They had like the one Bud Light Legends one, and that one.
Yeah, the Bud Light Legends one. I did enjoy that. Having the Real Man of Genius guy back again, you know, kind of doing his shtick. Yeah, it was great, and I did enjoy the Edward Scissorhands one a little bit. That was very nice to see Winona Ryder. It would have been nice too if Johnny Depp was kind of there, but that would have been nice. But it was very nice to see Winona Ryder basically looking like her mom in Edward Scissorhands, really minus the glasses. So it was very appealing with that.
That one was a good one. I also like the obviously I'm a big Seinfeld guy, so I like the Jason Alexander Seinfeld one. That was good.
That was good. I like the payoff at the end with him shouting. Yeah, I enjoyed that. Yeah, the commercials were blah most of the time, but other than that, yeah, it was good. I was very mad though. Not a lot of movie premieres or something like that, or like a trailer for a movie maybe coming on Disney Plus or Netflix or anything. I was very, very upset about that because usually that's a good prime spot to see. I would have been happy with maybe a trailer for the new Fast and Furious movie that was supposed to come out last year, but hopefully we'll get it this year.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think after last year, most of the movie studios don't have the money to pull a Super Bowl trailer ad since, I mean, they lost a ton of money last year. So,
yeah, the only movie I could really think of is probably Coming to America too. So, that was really the only movie one that really popped out for me, and it really was the same trailer that I saw already. So, it wasn't anything new.
Although I gotta find someone's Amazon Prime login to try and see that, though. I can't wait for that. That's gonna be funny.
I hope so. I'm really crossing my fingers on that one. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping like everybody comes back too. I'm hoping. Yeah.
I mean, it looks like it's gonna be good. I mean, I feel like I've been waiting like almost a year now for my new Bond movie that never came out.
And that got pushed towards, I believe, October.
November.
So
yeah,
or November. Yeah. So so that you have to wait for that as well.
Exactly. So hopefully that streaker is the first sign of normalcy coming back, and by the end of the year, we're actually able to go to the movie theaters again.
I mean, movie theaters are open. I'm actually going to a movie, not this coming week, but the following week. So I'm very excited for that.
Oh, neat. What are you going to see?
Yes, I've seen the 1931 Dracula, so I'm seeing the Bela Lugosi one. So yeah, they're showing just old movies right now. So if you're an old like movie buff, or if you're like a big movie buff and you want to see some of these movies in the theater, this is probably the time to go see it. So that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, so I'm very excited. It's a movie I really like, and I'm very excited to see it in the theater now.
Yeah, that's cool. I might have to start looking into that.
Yeah, yeah, just start looking and see what's on.
I guess I should have prefaced what I said by saying a good new movie in theaters.
Yeah, yes, I would love a good new movie. Hopefully we'll get some movies coming in soon. Hopefully when stuff opens up more in the coming months. So that's going to be a good sign.
And hopefully a basketball too at some point, right?
Yes, I'm praying for that. That's Matt and Trey's big project after South Park is going to be basketball too.
We can only hope. Nevertheless, I mean, obviously, we're huge movie buffs on this show. We've done some sports movie episodes, and I mean, we'd love to see movies and sports get back to normal. And like I said, hopefully that streaker is the first omen in the light of life getting back to normal.
Yes, I hope it is life getting back to normal,
Yep,
and it seems like that way. Again,
it does.
it looks like we're going to have March Madness, even though it's going to be a little bit
Yeah.
different this year, and it looks like baseball may be starting on time as of right now. So
Yeah.
this is exciting time. So in 2 months we could have March Madness and baseball starting. So this is a good sign. So hopefully, yeah, I agree. Maybe the streaker is a good omen.
A streaker, a Tom Brady Super Bowl win. It feels like it's back to normal.
Yeah, or in the refs helping Tom Brady out as well.
Right.
So things are starting to get back to normal a little bit.
Absolutely. It's life as we knew it. So welcome back to life as we knew it.
Yes, it's going to still be a
2021
little
is
bit different.
officially here.
Yes.
2020
Hey, and
is gone.
hey, I tweeted this out too. I mean, the return of college football and one of the commercials too. They're bringing back Doritos 3Ds, baby. I mean, Doritos 3Ds are making a comeback, so I'm very excited. So again, yeah, 2021 is already looking so much better than 2020.
Absolutely. Actually, I do like Doritos 3D. Speaking of Super Bowl commercials, I went back last week because I was doing like a Super Bowl commercials trivia round at the trivia bar that I host trivia at.
Yeah.
And do you remember the one where the guy like spikes a snow globe into his boss's nuts, and after he spikes the snow globe into the vending machine to get free Doritos? Look it up on YouTube. It's pretty funny.
I'll probably have to look it up. Yeah.
But it's hilarious. I was cracking up to it big time. Doritos always has some good Super Bowl commercials. I'm very excited about the return of Doritos 3D.
Yes, even though we're not getting the flavors that we hope for, it's a step in the right direction. They never should have discontinued Doritos 3D. Those were always one of the best snacks ever. I always got some whenever I got Doritos. So I'm just happy they're back.
Yeah, those are the salsa verde ones. There's like a spicy one that I liked.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they had like the regular flavors, like the nacho cheese and the Cool Ranch, but yeah, they had like a salsa verde as well. And then yeah, maybe like a spicy
Spicy
Cool
nacho.
Ranch or something. Yeah, spicy nacho. And then yeah, like a Cool Ranch. So yeah, we may have to order some Cool Ranches and some Surges, man, and just enjoy life.
Absolutely. And I mean, I think that would be great. I can't wait. We'll bring some Doritos 3D to the movie theater. We'll sneak it in and we'll go watch hopefully a new movie or an old movie in there soon.
Yes.
And another commercial I wanted to touch on because I tweeted it out. I think Paul Rudd should have served for Patrick Mahomes' stand-in for that Super Bowl because Patrick Mahomes needed a stand-in bad.
Yeah, he did. He really got beaten up on that game, and he really was scrambling for his life during that game. And it was just yeah. That was a good commercial. I enjoyed the stand-in ones. That was a good one with Jake and Drake from State Farm. That one was really good. I enjoyed that one. It was a cute one.
It was a good one. And I mean, hopefully next year maybe we get the State Farm Super Bowl that we want, or maybe the Bills finally get over the hump and get there. That'd be cool.
or a Denver Broncos miracle season. We can only hope.
I'm looking at it from a realistic perspective here, Bushy.
Hey, we just got a streaker on the field. Okay, anything can happen now.
It's true. You never know.
We had a streaker make thousands of dollars because he bet on himself. So
Always
anything
bet
is
on
possible. Always, he did. He always bet. He bet on himself and he won handily.
Oh God! Now I just want to get Super Bowl tickets and just bet. Like if I have the money to buy both Super Bowl tickets and to bet on a streaker being at the game, I would totally just go streaking for it.
I think since they found out that he probably put money on himself to do it, I think they'd probably take it off the board for next year's Super Bowl.
They probably will.
Yes. Oh, what did you think of the Weeknd's like ensemble or his like dance crew? Like really, they were inspired by I guess our buddy Aldo Montoya.
Exactly. I mean, Aldo Montoya coming up again on this show. We talked about him a couple weeks ago on our Royal Rumble, best Royal Rumbles. We did a worst Royal Rumble show that we haven't posted yet that might be posted after this. Aldo Montoya making an appearance on that too. And it felt like the whole Weeknd halftime show was a nod to Aldo Montoya.
Yeah, it just felt like Aldo Montoya mask with just a little more bandages. Like it was weird. That was a weird costume. Like everybody was dressed up like the Weeknd except wearing an Aldo Montoya mask.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were all, disappointed that Shakira didn't come back out again either.
I think a lot of people are, but it was overall a good show.
Oh,
I was okay with the Weeknd and all that, and we predicted on this show that he was either going to start or end with blinding lights, and he ended up ending it, which was probably the best thing for him.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's like the main Weeknd song that I like, and so he made me wait through the whole halftime show to hear it. So props to him.
Yes, and anything's good. It was a good one.
And I should preface that by saying, I mean, it's nothing against the Weeknd from a musical standpoint. I listen to a lot of like hard rock and stuff like that. So I'm still waiting for my Metallica Super Bowl halftime show.
Oh, my brothers kind of mentioned this with the Weeknd. It was like yeah, Blinding Lights. That is such a great song made in 1985. Like really, it felt like he was just he really just took had an 80s song and brought it into this generation. So and it was good.
Yeah, it was a good retro beat that they moved on it.
Yeah,
also works in today.
Yeah, and then you have a crazy wall staircase. That was probably the weirdest part, was that and him fighting with the camera.
Yeah,
It looked like he was having a struggling match with the camera. Like that was weird.
It was weird. I mean, it was definitely interesting. It was more interesting than the game, at least. So
Yes, yeah. You can tell by this podcast, really, we've talked about streakers and the Weeknd's halftime performance a lot more than the game.
Right. And I mean, honestly, the Super Bowl, I was with a group of people at the Super Bowl, under 10, obviously, for COVID purposes. But obviously, under 10. That being said, I mean, like, everyone just bailed at halftime. Like, I felt like me and, like, two other people were, like, me, Andrea, and, like, two other people were the only ones, like, watching it after halftime.
I had family over, and yeah, we were playing games. We were playing like board games during the second half. Really, after the touchdown of that Bucks game, we kind of quit as well. We kind of quit like the Chiefs. So, yeah, it really was a very, very surprisingly it was not a very good Super Bowl, but it's a lot better when you have friends around.
I mean, it's a good thing I didn't have any board games around, actually, because I would have been playing board games, or if I'd actually had this at my house, I would have had probably Cards Against Humanity going or something instead of watching the second half of that game.
Yeah, you should have just busted out maybe some Cards Against Humanity, or could have busted out some of the trivia that you had on.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, like I said, I wasn't at home like the Buccaneers were for the Super Bowl, so.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, we were over there with a small group, and then, like I said, it was.
Yeah, I agree. It was not a very good. Yeah, Yeah, everybody. You can tell it's not a very good Super Bowl if people are like, I don't want to watch it anymore.
Right, exactly. And that was what happened. So now I think we've talked about the Super Bowl enough. Let's move on. Let's talk some hockey. NHL, let's do our NHL power rankings. Let's start with the top five. Who you got in your top five?
Top five, number five. Even though they have been, they got a little bit. They got bit by the COVID bug. Definitely, it's got to be the Avalanche. Really, they've looked strong. They looked strong right before they got hit with the contact tracing with COVID. But yeah, they were looking strong, even though they lost some people with McKinnon and Tays and Belmar and Eric Johnson kind of going down during kind of that span. But they were looking strong and they were winning games differently. You know, they were winning games probably 7-3 or like 5-1. They were defeating teams, but then before they got hit with the COVID, really they won a 2-1 game. It was really the garbage time type of goals. So I still have them as my number five. They are definitely a fun team to watch. And man, if this team can ever stay healthy, this team is going to be a force to reckon with this season.
I have them just outside my top five. I have them like 6 or 7. I think them and Florida just ended up just outside my countdown here. For my number five right now, I got to go with the Boston Bruins. And the Boston Bruins have really kind of emerged as the top team in the East right now. They're 8-1-2. They are 7-1-2 in their last 10 games. Obviously, they only played 10 games. But they've won 3 in a row. They're undefeated at home, and I mean, they keep just finding ways to win these games. And I mean, they were a good team last year. They're a team that does have all these talented players and really could make a move in that Eastern division. So they look like the team to beat there. I think they're my 5th best team right now.
Yeah, with them in Philly and Washington, they're actually my 4th team. They're my top 4 team. They really have kind of jumped up for me the past 2 weeks. They've really have caught my eye. I've watched several Bruins games actually with the Avs COVID break. So I've been watching a lot more Bruins games, and they look like a force to be reckoned with right now, and they look really strong.
They really do. And I mean, obviously, they have some of these guys who've just been there forever, like Patrice Bergeron is somehow still on their roster.
I know it's like him, and it's like him and Marchand. It's like these guys playing like these guys have been playing forever. Yeah, Krejci, like that core. Even though that core has gotten a little bit older, they're still a really fun team to watch.
Like, I mean, they're just a team, man. That, like, I mean, I thought Patrice Bergeron would be like 40. He's only 35.
He's only 35, but it's probably an older 35 with especially the style of play that the Bruins play. So it could be one of these. It usually happens this with hockey players that, man, the talent just goes like that. So we'll have to wait and see. But obviously, it's not working right now because Boston keeps on churning.
And, I mean, they have a good goaltending core in Halak and Rask too. So I mean, they're a team I like in the top 5 right now.
Yes.
And you have
What is your number 4? They were my number 4.
My number 4, I got to go with the Montreal Canadiens. They're a team right now that's really been doing really well. I like their plus 17 goal differential. I think they're a team that's really thriving. Once again, very talented. They're in a very tough division right now, or what looks to be a tough division in the North. But I think they're a team that's a very strong team, and I think they can be a team that, could do it at the end of the season. They could get finally over that hump that they've had, the curse of trading Patrick Waugh.
Yes, they're actually my number 3 team. I know I keep seem to piggyback on you, but yeah, it just seems like we had we kind of talked before the show. We kind of had a sense of agreement for a lot of our top 5s. But yeah, Montreal again, they've looked strong, and again, it does help when they play Vancouver a lot, and Vancouver is one of the worst teams, even though they don't show it like points wise. Like really, they are a bad team, which probably will come up later on in our bottom 5. But yeah, Montreal, they've looked strong, and their power play is one of the best. And yeah, they're a force to be reckoned with. Really, with them in Toronto in the North.
Which leads me into my next team, the Toronto Maple Leafs at 3. I mean, they're a team. I mean, they have the most points of anyone right now. They've got 21 points. They got 10 wins. I mean, they're a team that is won 3 in a row. And I mean, they're a team that really seems to be hitting their stride. They've had a lot of young talent, and it seems like this is finally the year that all that young talent finally puts it together.
Yeah, and they're kind. I feel like they're kind of in a win now type of mode, because really a lot of they're really going to be hamstrung by the cap as the years go on with trying to keep Tavares and Matthews and all those young core talent. And yeah, the North Division probably has helped Toronto a lot the most, because then they don't have to play like Boston and all those teams really until the playoffs.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if the North Division is one of those divisions that has just got 2 really good teams and 2 really bad teams, and the 2 really bad teams are making the 2 really good teams look better than they are. That's a good question. I don't know, but right now they look like a good team to me.
Yeah, and it really is probably the best offensive division in the out of the 4 divisions. I've really have been, other than probably Bruins games, I've been watching a lot of the North Division. So I've been watching a lot of the Canadian teams play out, and they're fun. Like Winnipeg, Edmonton have been fun games. Calgary as well, even though they're in the bottom. Yeah, and just Montreal and Toronto, they're up there, and they're a strong team.
They certainly are. They were my number 3 team. Who did you have at 2?
Number 2, I still have the Champs are my number 2. I like the Tampa Bay. They're still going strong. They're winning that Central Division. They have looked really well, still going strong, and they look like a really good cup contender. And they're really gonna defend the cup this year.
I mean, I think I have them at number 1 right now. I mean, obviously they've been beating up on Detroit and Nashville recently, but that being said, they still have the same essential core that won that cup a year ago. And this seems to be the year of Tampa Bay right now. So until someone proves that a Tampa Bay team's not going to win it, I'm going to have Tampa Bay as number 1 right now.
Yeah, Tommy's paying the officials too for the NHL as well. So
He might be. You never know. He's got all that Giselle money to play with. He's got.
Yes.
So I had Tampa Bay as my number 1 team for sure.
What is your number 2?
My number 2, I still have Vegas as my number 2 team. I mean, obviously they're a team too that's been kind of hamstrung by the COVID bug. But that being said, I think they obviously still have the core group of people once again that have helped them be a dominant franchise almost since their inception. They've been towards the top of the league ever since then. And I mean, they beat up on, I'm sure they're beating the Kings, but at the end of the day, they're getting the wins. And they're a team too that I think is going to be a force to be reckoned with throughout the whole season.
Yeah, yeah. Again, it does help when you're playing the Kings as well. They lost to St. Louis really before the COVID thing. They lost in the shootout before they got nixed by the COVID as well. So I had them just slightly under. I had them at number 6. I still want to kind of see a little bit more with them. Yeah, and especially when they play St. Louis, Colorado, and now a force to be reckoned with the Arizona Coyotes. They've looked very strong the past couple of weeks as well in that Western Division. So we'll see more with the Vegas Golden Knights going forward, probably in the next couple of weeks, and they probably could be in the top 5 if they next week if they have a strong showing this week.
Who knows? I mean, obviously Arizona seemed to have St. Louis's number. Vegas seemed to have Arizona's number. So who knows?
Yeah, who knows about that? Yeah, and the Kings seem to have the Avs number as well. It's a very that's what I love about the West. It's a very, very weird division. Even though yes, the top 3 teams are in the top 3, will probably be in the top 3. It's just going to be a weird division throughout.
And you have Minnesota, who's still kind of sneaky, lurking around there. I wouldn't be surprised if they make a run at some point.
Yeah, they could make a run. When they have to goon up everything as well. Maybe when they have to play like so. Yeah, they have to in order to beat the Avs. Really, I mean, you saw those. I saw those 3 games. They really had to goon it up really to try to beat the Avs as well. And then obviously they had to do some contact tracing really to
right.
Yeah, to keep the Avs with that. So it just makes me hate the Wild even more. That it's just like really like you had an outbreak and then it really caused the Avs to pause, which could be a good thing too for the Avs though. Getting some players back that will get healthy. So yeah, that could help as well.
I mean, obviously Minnesota, learned the lesson of the movie Slapshot, which is you got to goon it up. That's the whole
Yes,
lesson of that movie.
yes, that's
Like,
the whole lesson. But really, if they're going up against a team like St. Louis and Vegas who kind of do that same thing, they're really going to get they're probably really going to get hammered. They got to look out and maybe play the Avs when it comes to playoff time.
who knows? I think it's going to be very interesting. Like I said, going forward, I think this is obviously a very good one. Who did you have at number one?
Number one, we talked about them earlier. Toronto, really looking strong. I know they beat up on Vancouver a while, but really, they really look strong out of this Canadian division, and really they could be a force to reckon with. And well, I'm just kind of curious how this North Division is really going to play when they have to play somebody from the East. When they have to play somebody from the East going in the playoff semifinals.
Yeah, that's the part that's obviously the most intriguing to me too. I can't wait to see once this divisional break ends and now you're actually able to play outside of your division. Like, what is it going to look like? Yeah, exactly. Are these teams that good or are they playing teams that are that bad? It's going to be
Yeah,
interesting to see, and it's going to be a mystery. We won't know until April, May, and January almost, or
yeah,
April, May, and June.
yeah, we won't know until come playoff time. So it's gonna be fascinating to watch.
Yeah, I think it's made me almost the most excited I've ever been for the playoffs in at least 20 years.
Yeah, it does help, and I'm just kind of curious how this is going to play out. I'm kind of happy though with the Avs that they're getting kind of this contact tracing right now, so you don't
Right.
really probably have to deal with it later. So this could be a good thing going forward, especially for the Avs.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a good thing for them. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we got to look at our bottom five, though. We can't talk about the good without talking about the bad. And who is really bad for you right now, Bushy?
Number five for me has to be San Jose. They really, man, that team has just fallen off a cliff really since a couple of years ago when they were in the Western Conference Finals. Like that is a team that got old really fast, and they really have lot of old players tied up in a lot of money. So this is going to be really a lot of this is really going to be a rebuilding project going forward with the Sharks.
Yeah, I think the Sharks are one of those teams that, like you said, tied up their money and they went for a win now approach. Obviously, they never were able to get it done when they had all those guys. And now I think they're kind of in the start of a rebuild. They're working their way back. They have some decent talent on their roster, but they just haven't been able to put it together. And I don't know that they will for another couple of years.
Yeah, this is going to be as rebuilding can get. So this is going to be a fascinating team. These teams could be sellers going into the trade deadline.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they're a team that's my fifth team as well. I think they're just right outside. Like they're just, and it doesn't help that they're in a tough division either. I think that the fact that they're in the West obviously means that they have to be playing Vegas, St. Louis, Colorado, like all these tough teams that are like. I think the West is probably the toughest division out there.
Yeah, it definitely really is the toughest division. Even though, yeah, the Avs haven't played. Same goes for the Wild as well. Don't forget about the Wild too. They're a scrappy team as well.
Right.
And yeah, it's just really unfortunate for them that they really in such a really tough division.
They really are. It's a tough division. Who do you have at four?
Uh, at four, I have the Vancouver Canucks. Even though the record really hasn't shown, they have actually lost their last. Let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they lost their last 5 games, and they really have gotten beatenly handled too. I mean, their last game was their probably their best defensive output, led in 3 goals, but they've led in 6, 5, 7, and 5 goals those 4 games before last night, respectively. And Vancouver they look like a team that's very discombobulated right now and just can't seem to get stuff right now. And it looked like a team that was riding the ship last week, but come this week, they look like a complete mess of a team.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you on this one, Bushy. I think they are a team that I actually had higher on my list, or I mean lower on my list, I guess. I had them as my third worst team, and the reason for that is, I mean, half of their wins so far this season have came against Ottawa, and they've blown out Ottawa 3 times and still have one of the worst goal differentials in the NHL. I mean, they're getting roughed up, they're getting beaten badly, and I think they're a team that I had, like I said, as my third worst team in hockey because they are now finding out that when they're not playing Ottawa, they're in bad shape.
Yeah, and they are in bad shape. It's really, again, it's really weird because it's again, yeah. I think I sound like a broken record. It's like it's a team that really they played Vegas really tough last year in the bubble in the playoffs, and they defeated the defending Stanley Cup champions too, and they really beat them handily too in those games. And really, for them to take a step back, it really is really kind of shocking. Even though, yeah, some of the moves they made were really kind of suspect. You thought that with the core that they had, they made it ride the ship a little bit, but really they have not. And it goes to show that they're just a really bad run team right now. They may have to make a change, either fire a coach or get rid of some of these players right now because they're really a team that's really on the downfall.
They certainly are, and I mean they are. They are. Like I said, I even had them lower on my list than you did, so I think they're a bad team. My number 4 team was the Kings. I think that they've lost 4 in a row. They're a team that did put up a fight though against the Avalanche, and once again, I think that they're in a very tough division that makes them look a little bit worse than they are. I mean, it feels like yeah, they're losing a lot of these games, and it feels like they're at least in them.
Yeah, they're actually number 3 on my list. Yeah, they've lost their last. Yeah, they lost their last 4, and they're a scrappy team. Yes, they're a very young team, and yeah, they do get the Avs some fits as well. I think it's just the way the style they play. And really, they got to rely on Jonathan Quick probably sometimes to really stand on his head, especially with some of those games. But yeah, it's like they lost to Minnesota, they've lost to Anaheim, and now they've lost to Vegas twice during this role as well. But yeah, they've really looked bad, and it doesn't really look anything brighter, especially in the division they're in.
Right. The only thing that I can say positively for them is like, I mean, we've talked about the Canucks getting blown out, and the Kings really haven't gotten that big bad blowout loss. They've at least only it feels like they lose by 2 every time, but like they don't get lose by 4 or let in 7 goals or any of this stuff. So that's why I had them a little bit better on my list than the Canucks.
Yeah, they haven't gotten beaten sandly this year. Um, they yeah, they're a very scrappy team, but they're just not very good, and they are in a rebuilding phase. So so yeah, there's really nothing more you could say. At least they try. They really do. At least they try. Unlike unlike Vancouver.
Right, exactly. They're getting the participation trophy award. Who do you got as
Yes.
number 2? I'm pretty sure we're going to agree on the top 2 or
Yeah, so number two for me are the Detroit Red Wings. They won a couple of nights ago. They beat Florida, but before that they lost their last 4. They got killed by Tampa Bay. They got killed by Tampa Bay last week, really, and they only scored 1 goal, and that's really their problem. Really, other than the last game, their past 5 games, they haven't been putting the puck in the net. Really, they've only scored they only scored 2 goals in 2 of those games as well. So, yeah, yeah, they're just not a very good team, and yeah, they're a team that's rebuilding.
They really, I mean, but I mean, they've been rebuilding for a while, and I mean, you can see it with them. They really are struggling offensively. They have with 26 goals, they have like this, yeah, second lowest goal total in the NHL, behind only the Devils and the Islanders and the Ducks. So I guess they're fourth worst in terms of scoring, but they've had more games than all those teams as well. So for them to have more games and still not be able to put the puck in the net, they are at minus 18 in goal differential at this point in the season, which I mean shows you that they're really not doing a good job on either side of the ball, or on either side of the puck rather. And I mean, it's a team that has been in a rebuild for a long time. And frankly, it's a team that I enjoy seeing in a rebuild. I love the losses for the Detroit Red Wings.
Yes, it is kind of nice seeing the Red Wings actually having very difficult times right now. It's very fun to see with us and seeing the Avs being well. It's just a very, very bad team, and it's a team that's going to be rebuilding now, going to be rebuilding again for the next couple of years right now. And it's a team that really it doesn't seem like the corner is coming around soon.
No, it certainly doesn't. It's a team that, like you said, has a lot of work to do, and so does the team that we both, I'm sure, have as the worst team in hockey right now. That is the Ottawa Senators. I'm assuming that's who
Yes.
you have as well.
Yes, that they are the worst team. I remember I was at a sports bar a couple of weeks ago. I was watching the game in which they lost 8-5 against Edmonton. Even though, the score looks bad. Really, that game was over by the second period. I mean, it just felt like every time I looked up, Edmonton was scoring. Like it was just like McDavid and Draisaitl were just having their way against them. They beat Montreal last week 3-2, but then they lost to them again, and then they lost to Edmonton last night 3-1. So they just don't. They're just not a very good team, and it really is the only saving grace for the Canucks. Really, is that Ottawa is in their division.
It certainly is, because that's how the Canucks have gotten like half their wins is by playing Ottawa. And obviously, Ottawa, we don't think Vancouver's that good of a team. And I mean, they made Vancouver look like a very good team. And really, offense, defense, goaltending, like they're pretty suspect at all of them. So there's no real area where you think this team can turn the corner and really get something going.
No, they're not. They're not a good team to watch right now, and it just seems like they're always on Hockey Night in Canada for some reason. I don't know why. Like there are a lot better Canadian teams to watch, really, other than Ottawa. But it just seems like they're always on for some reason. I don't know why, but I keep seeing the Ottawa Senators, and we keep watching them, and they keep stinking up the joint. I mean, really, they got 5 points. Really, I mean. they really do stink, and it's going to be a long road ahead with Ottawa.
Thank you for listening to the SP at Bushy Show. This podcast was created by Sean Pooley and Stephen Bush. Intro was created by Zach DeMose. For more content, please visit our Twitter at SP Bushy and our YouTube page at Sean Pooley. Thank you again for listening.